Oh, welcome back to Higher Density Living. Jason, I'm not boasting or anything, but do you know anyone else that runs 3 podcasts?
No.
Actively?
No.
What's wrong with us?
I know, yeah. And so people know, if you like, when we start talking about technology and the future of the world, TCast by Tartle.
It's great. Great to listen
to.
to.
TCAST, TCast, and then Tartle, TARTLE.
Right.
And they're a sponsor of this show.
Correct. And if you want to learn some niche things about leadership, you can go to ABQ Business Podcast.
Yep.
Jason and I are now hosting, and people love that one.
Yeah, some of it's about Albuquerque, which you can just skip those episodes if you're not from here, or you can listen to it because we throw a lot of leadership in there. We just talked about the film industry, Alec Baldwin, the situation that happened in Santa Fe.
General Patton.
Accidentally shot someone, or purposely, we don't know.
Yeah.
The Santa Fe Sheriff's Department will figure that out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out in no time at all.
Yeah, so why don't you share?
By the way.
Yes. Oh, you have something?
I just ordered something. I didn't realize that you could do this. You know those Aztec clay face masks? You know, they're green. People put apple cider vinegar and they smear it on their face, and it dries up. You gotta wipe it off. That's bentonite clay. Do you know that comes in food grade form?
Yes, I've heard about this.
So check this.
But I don't know why you would.
I bought some,
it.
and I'll share with you.
This could be bad.
This is cool. So when the bentonite clay goes into your body, it has a specific ionization. And at the same time, there's just enough of the calcium inside of it from the old prehistoric stuff that's been crushed up. So it actually starts to pull all the reversely charged, bad bacteria in your gut biome out of your body. And at the same time, it bonds to heavy metals. So it physically strips heavy metals and toxins out of your body.
Holy shit.
And you can have it 3 times a day, no problem. And it just pulls it out. And what they found, you ready for this?
Yes.
If you pair chlorella or like a blue-green algae with the intake of this calcium, whatever it is, bentonite clay, it actually decreases radioactive signatures in your body by over 30%.
Oh, radioactive. So it's affecting it like that.
It decreases heavy metals.
So everybody that's worried about this 5G bullshit.
You just suck down some bentonite clay.
You just suck down some bentonite clay.
It literally yanks it out of your cells.
Yeah, make sure you get the edible one because they use bentonite clay for all kinds of things. Because I know they use it for like well heads.
Yeah, you got to get the food grade.
To keep the well heads like permanently. That stuff, it can, once it dries.
Yeah, it dries.
It dries, and I think you would be going to the hospital if you didn't get the food grade. You
got to get the food grade. Yeah. I'm excited, though. I'll keep you guys up to date on it. But
this is the same thing as the people that heard Trump say something, and then they started drinking shit from...
What?
And they died.
What are you talking about? There were
some people in Arizona. This was a long time ago, but I think he was talking about chlorella? Or whatever he was talking about that you could drink or whatever, and it was help. So I guess there was some of this ingredients that's in these aquarium things, and the guy was like, "Oh, look, this stuff that Trump said is in this stuff."
Oh, the aquarium tablets? That's a totally different type of algae.
Yeah, they drank it and fucking died.
Oh, that's really great.
Yeah, and maybe you'd have to look it up, but I don't know. We don't even want to look that up.
No.
I don't need that on my IP. Yeah. Or any of them.
Yeah. So,
speaking of that, did you see our illustrious president give his Thanksgiving?
No, what happened?
Oh, dude, he's like, that's why I don't understand why we get so divisive and decide we want 2 old white guys.
I don't get it.
Like which way? Both of them are just absolutely horrific. And yeah, he was just like, happy Thanksgiving. I'm like, this guy is not going to be around for very long.
It
was so sad.
They take licenses away from people in that mental state so they can't drive.
Yes. Yeah. He said he was reading the teleprompter and he was kind of reading it struggling.
Yeah.
And then at the end he said end of quote, because it says that in the teleprompter. We went from, at least Obama was a statesman. I mean, whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter. At least he was a statesman.
He was really good with drone strikes.
Yeah, really. Bill Clinton, statesman. You can go Ronald Reagan, statesman.
Yep.
And then we got into this.
I don't know what happened.
Our last 2 presidents have been just absolutely.
No offense to the United States. Actually, the United States should take offense to it. It's ass backwards. It's going downhill.
Oh, big time.
It's not people. It's like when you look at it from the outside, people are like, "Oh my God, what are they doing?"
Yeah, I heard a guy say the other day, and I can't pronounce his last name, or I'd give him credit for it, but Daniel, it's like Schumacher. He said we have medieval politics,
yeah,
godlike technology,
yeah,
and then we have everything that falls underneath that, like pandemics, and so anything, because they're not anti-fragile systems.
Yeah.
Either one of them.
I love that.
And so the government can't respond to godlike technology.
No, you and I talk about this.
Yes.
They're always going to be behind in policy.
Yeah, and this is the stuff we talk about on TCAST.
Yeah.
So we're probably breaking a record this month. It looks like we're going to break the record for audio listening on
so
Higher Density Living. I was just looking it up before you got here.
Cool.
So I'm excited. So if you guys love this, support us. You can learn a lot over for leadership and business, ABQ.
Yes.
Podcast, business podcast, and then the if they want, plus they can sign up.
They can
help
sign
support.
up at Turtle.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome. Help
Yeah.
the Big Seven.
the Big Seven.
Can we, speaking of
The
seven,
Big Seven.
we got another Big Seven right here. What the hell's with seven, huh? So we were going through
I have them
some
on my phone right
yeah,
here.
we were going through some of the material from the Billy Meier case. And over the course of his learning and talking about creational laws and things of the sort, there are 7 principles for the aspiring one. So someone who wants to evolve, someone who really wants to better themselves. Like they're like, I get it now. I see it. Creational laws make sense. Now I got to start taking some personal steps. And these personal steps, we're going to outline them into a mini series. All right. And there's just going to be 7 episodes. And we had a little rant on this first one, but it'll open up. So we'll start with number 1 today. We'll get that explained, and we'll talk about how it applies to real life. So Jason, kick us off.
You must not trust the impulses of your untrained material consciousness.
Okay, we gotta stop right there. Don't trust it. Okay, so impulse. What's the impulse? Like, impulse buying. We all know that feeling.
Well, let's scientifically, when you have something impulse.
Yeah.
Like we need to understand the root of the word impulse.
Yeah. Impulse, not outpulse, impulse. So what happens is there's an electrical charge that happens immediately in the brain. From that electrical charge, it releases neurochemicals through that little fabric, the folds that you got going up there, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go do this. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to do it. You know what I mean? Oh, I need that. I got to get it right now. Oh, that person pissed me off. I'm going to be mad. Or someone said something. Oh, I'm triggered. These are impulses that naturally occur because you haven't trained yourself in your material consciousness, our thinking brain, to be like, whoa, I get it. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for teaching me something about myself that I otherwise didn't know, and I'm going to work on improving with how I react to what has been said.
Yeah, and I think the word here that's important is trust.
Yeah, these impulses, they are illogical. So you don't want to put your trust into this aspect of your untrained brain.
Right.
So say, for instance, untrained brain. Would you get in an airplane with a pilot who doesn't know how to fly?
Yeah, exactly.
No, because he's untrained.
Right.
Right? If you see this person doing barrel rolls and they're laughing about it and they're like, oh, well, by the way, I don't know how to land this thing. I could only take off. You wouldn't get in the plane.
But that's how our evolutionary conscious is now in this one meat suit. Instead of looking at it from a creational viewpoint where there's, millions and millions of years,
Billions.
we're knocking it down to our little finite 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and then we're impulsing off of I can land, but I can't. I mean, I can take off, but I can't land. Yeah, it's basically the same scenario.
So you're living your life in horse blinders, and you're trusting that everything that's blind in your peripherals is good to go. So I'm just going to react.
But people need to understand this because they say intuition. My intuition. I'm finding out here lately. I used to really trust my intuition, and I used to think I had like a gift with it.
And now what?
I can't. I'm too biased.
It's crazy.
Especially on things like, okay, I'll give you a prime example. I'm in a relationship now.
Yes.
And my intuition's off.
You bet it is.
Because I haven't been in a relationship for 13 years, basically.
You've biased yourself.
Yes. And so my bias is coming through off of, and I've shared with you a couple of situations that's happened, but if I trust my intuition, which is basically my untrained monkey material consciousness,
right?
Then I wouldn't be in a relationship right now.
Because what it is, people are like, oh, I got to gut check it. It doesn't feel right. Well, it doesn't feel right because you haven't trained the responsiveness. You haven't seen the logic. You haven't seen how the fabric of your mind has been built up over the past 20-something years. You see what I'm saying?
I like what he says here next because this explains it all. In the untrained material consciousness, he says, because your consciousness is still untrained and inadequate, deficient in each respect.
Yeah.
In each respect. Let's talk about that.
So it's untrained and inadequate. So you haven't done the work, okay, to actually see how this brain works of yours and how you respond to these impulses you get. You have no training for it. So you're just going around like a fucking frenzy, right? Like, oh, yeah.
Emotionally based.
Pressure over here. Fine, I'm going to go this way. Oh, angry person, I'm going to give it back to him, right?
Right.
Push back and forth. Oh, by the way, it's also, you have an inadequateness. Because you haven't done any training, you haven't strengthened the consciousness of your brain. So it's like withered. It's like a little walnut or something.
Well, it's almost like
it's a raisin.
I was on Reddit and I was reading. They have a Law of One Reddit on there.
Are you
and
kidding
we
me?
may have
do?
some people.
I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
even
great.
know that.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that people are talking and all that stuff. But it's really wild. Then you have the people who are overly optimistic, not logical at all. And you can even use a spiritual teaching and do this. You can like, oh, okay, my house is being taken away. I'm getting foreclosed on. I'm unemployed. I have nothing. But hey, I'm just going to give love and light.
No, it doesn't work like that.
You see what I'm saying?
That's you've overbought. You've overpolarized in one direction,
Yes,
and you
yes.
don't realize the error of your ways.
Yes.
You then become blind to it. You're looking at it as now it's a dogma for you.
Yeah.
Optimism is your dogma.
Right.
There's no equalization or reality to your perspective. But the thing is, you're untrained.
Right.
And there's an inadequateness to your actual mind. You have not done the work to build up your mind muscles to control that. So if you need strength to control an impulse, like wrestling a greased pig, you know what I mean? You're just trying to like hold it down. Like those are your emotions. It's going in all different directions. That's what you have to work on.
Well, you've based your whole life off of them until this point.
That's precisely the
And
point.
this is kind of like if we want to use the word enlightened or whatever, this is when you become more self-aware.
Yeah, self-aware.
Where you're like, oh shit, here's an emotion.
Yep.
That's not me. So now logically, how can I look at this from a different perspective?
Correct.
And this is what he goes into. He says this, and I love this word because this word is very important. It's
cool.
a Google word. Are you
Yeah.
ready? Search continuously. That's an adverb for the logic in every thought process.
Wow. You got to stop right there.
Yes.
This is not a one and done. I'm going to read a book. I got
Right.
it solved.
This is Dr. Spock stuff.
Yeah. You are going to have so many different catalysts in your life that will bring impulses to you, which you have to stop yourself when you
Right.
feel the impulse and understand how to work with it. No two impulses are exactly the same. So you have to search continuously. This point of evolution never stops. So through this searching,
And it won't stop.
Yeah.
And it can't stop.
and it can't stop because it's creation. Won't, can't, don't.
We're not rappers.
Yeah,
guys.
no, we're not.
But I mean, when you think of it, search continuously.
In every thought process.
So this is an action. This is an action that should be at to the point to where you've built it enough to where you're like emotion, search.
Yep.
Oh, here's an emotion,
Yep.
search. Here's a positive oriented motion. Here's a negative oriented motion. Search.
Well, you know,
Search.
it's like searching deep within yourself. Like some guy cut me off the other day. I'm like,
Yes.
I wanted to be
Oh,
like, I might
yeah.
fucking right. So, but really, I'm like, wait a minute, why? And then I ask myself why, and then I dig down. I'm like, no big deal.
Right.
That's what I said. No big deal. It's all good.
Well, that he gave you the opportunity to have a learning lesson.
That's
which
all
in
that
turn-
happened.
And so then you had a learning lesson. And you're like, oh, okay, I've been self-aware instead of just going off the hinges.
But I had to search. I had to look into myself. I'm like, whoa, why'd that upset?
Yes.
And then I'm like, okay, it's all good.
So let's look up the word logic. What is the word? Search continuously for the logic. Some people have different views of logic. I always think of Spock on Star Trek, like he was the Vulcans.
Yeah.
They're all about logic.
Yeah, it's logic it's just reasoning. Is that so? If you think that the goal, right, for someone who is the aspiring one, your goal is to evolve. If I use the logic, my reasoning, is the way I'm thinking or acting actually helping me evolve? Am I recognizing the evolution in this? And it's a noun, and the study of the principles of reasoning, especially in the structure of propositions as distinguished from the content of the method validity of deductive reasoning. So I'm going to bake it down. Why within myself until I get to the root cause. And then, this is the basis for why I'm doing this. And other things were layered on top, but I'm searching continuously for the driver.
Yeah, and he says continuously for the logic in every thought process. So you've trained, your monkey mind has trained you. It's trained you,
Yeah.
the real you. If there's whatever. But the logic in every... I don't want to get into that. What you perceive as the real you.
Yeah.
What the ego perceived.
Right.
So for the logic in every thought process. So notice the word process. He says process. You've trained yourself to sit, to heal, to go, to get the treat, to not get the treat. That's what your monkey mind has done to you, because that's a process. Your thought, the thought that you have, your monkey mind's trained you to be step one. This is what I do. I get angry. I get sad. This happens next. I text somebody to pissed off.
That's correct.
I'm angry. I go to my room. I go to the garage and work on my car because I'm pissed off at my wife.
Right.
Whatever it may be. That's a process. That's what happens. A thought process.
All the time.
And so now we're interrupting that pattern that your monkey mind, your ego has played on you to try to say, hey, you need to be safe.
So you can change the outcome.
Yes.
Because if I go in a manufacturing plant and the processes are backwards,
Yes.
I don't have a good end product.
No. Yeah. It's
going to be broken.
Yes.
But if I reform my processes, make these things efficient, look to how I can see the whole thing, soup to nuts. I've done all my studying. I'm searching to make it better every single time to make it more efficient. That's when you train the impulses.
Yes. And he says this, search continuously for the logic in every thought process. And when you have found it.
Found what? The logic?
Yes. But here's the key. He didn't say if you have found it.
No, when.
When you have found it, because guess what?
The truth's always there.
It's always there. Exactly.
So
awesome. you just you're searching to find something.
Yeah.
You're in the cave. You're going through with your sword. You're looking for that big emerald.
Yep.
And you're going from cave to cave to cave. And there's some scary things in there. You may have to hit them with the sword, but you will find the emerald is there.
Correct.
It's for sure. You have the map. The emerald is in a cave. Is in one of the caves. Yeah.
And so you just got to search. And when you're doing it, just be logical about that search. Because essentially, none of us are all completely knowing.
Right.
So we are in the dark. But if you're on the path to wanting to evolve, you want to aspire, you need to train the mind first.